The mandate of the investigative team of UNITAD will conclude on 17 September, at which point it will have ceased operations and no longer be present in Iraq. Since I joined UNITAD as acting special advisor about 6 months ago, the team has worked diligently to conclude the mandate in an orderly manner and on a positive note, in cooperation with the Iraqi authorities. I think it is important to pause before we close to reflect on the past 6 years. There are several tangible results and achievements to highlight, which will hopefully continue to benefit Iraq and all stakeholders beyond the mandate in the wake of the work that has been done. First, the investigative results. The team has produced 19 case assessments and analytical reports, hundreds of pages, covering specific acts that may amount to crimes against humanity, war crimes, and genocide, committed by ISIL, Daesh in Iraq against the Christian, Kakai, Shabak, Shia, Turkmen, Sunni, and Yazidi communities. These outputs have been shared with the competent Iraqi authorities, along with underlying evidence that UNITAD produced. A summary of their factual and legal findings was provided to the United Nations Security Council this past June in our 12th and final report. Many will be made available publicly soon on our new legacy website. Guidelines in areas relating to the use of technology and trauma-informed investigations were developed and published online as well, as were the results of certain investigative lines of inquiry, including a report on the destruction of cultural heritage and a report on sexual violence. The result of this investigative work draws from millions of pieces of information that the team collected and produced over the years. In particular, information provided by the Iraqi authorities and notably by the Iraqi judiciary. Second result, the collection and preservation of materials. Those millions of pieces of information are another significant achievement of the team, which has consolidated an archive of ISIL-Daesh-related material. An archive managed and analyzed by the team using cutting-edge systems and tools, which contains information that could be used as evidence in future criminal proceedings. This archive includes, most importantly, interviews taken directly by the team from survivors and witnesses who stepped forward to give their account from across Iraq. It also includes other information collected from a diverse range of sources and also produced by the team, such as forensic reports. UNITAD has delivered an important part of this archive to the Iraqi authorities in accordance with its terms of reference. The most comprehensive archive, which contains all the records of the team, is now safely stored within the United Nations headquarters, with the hope that it will be made accessible in the future for accountability purposes. I wish to stress this point. The archive of the team contains relevant information for accountability purposes. Information that links the acts committed by ISIL-Daesh in Iraq to the commission of international crimes and the individuals responsible for these crimes. Third result, building capacity. Much of the information has been collected by the team in cooperation with the Iraqi authorities, and often for the purpose of building their capacity in areas such as mass grave excavations, digitization and archiving, and digital forensics. Results from this cooperation include the excavation of 68 ISIL-related mass graves and the return of identified victim remains from these excavations to their families, the digitization and archiving of 20 million ISIL-related paper records, and the acquisition of data from a significant number of digital devices like hard drives, mobile phones, seized from ISIL Daesh by the Iraqi authorities. Fourth result, support to national investigations and prosecutions in third states. During its mandate, the team supported some 300 requests for assistance received from 21 third states, aiding their ISIL-related national investigations and prosecutions. At least 18 cases under investigation supported by the team led to indictments, and at least 15 cases ultimately resulted in convictions. Fifth result, finally, supporting victims. All of our work was victim-centric, driven by an expert witness protection and psychosocial support capacity. This capacity has served our investigative and evidence collection efforts. It has also helped to build capacity in this area among the competent Iraqi authorities and other counterparts in Iraq through the delivery of workshops and trainings. Let me add that none of the results and achievements mentioned would have been possible without the tireless support from the security, finance, human resource, language service, mission support, and program management components within the team, including those working to secure our premises, drive the vehicles, serve the food, and keep us healthy and our offices safe and clean. This would not have been possible without our Iraqi colleagues either, who brought to the team fundamental expertise and the domestic perspective. Ultimately, 1/2 of all staff members were national personnel prior to the drawdown and liquidation of the team. Finally, there is also the excellent cooperation from the Iraqi authorities, in particular their security forces who facilitated our movements, as well as the support from other United Nations entities in Iraq and abroad. On a more personal note, I wish to reiterate my appreciation for the commitment of UNITAD colleagues in ensuring an orderly conclusion of our mandated activities and the drawdown and liquidation of the team. These are challenging times for many, both professionally and personally. It is during challenging times that we often show our best selves, where our professionalism shines through. And it is during challenging times when our human values become fundamental. Those at UNITAD have shown that they were up to the challenge. I want to thank you all for what we have achieved and for how we have achieved it, that is, in a professional, humble, and honest manner, leaving hopefully behind us a positive legacy. The results and accomplishments I have described ultimately serve the interests of those who have been most deeply impacted by the crimes of ISIL Daesh in Iraq. To the victims, survivors, and affected communities, it is truth and justice that matter. We should be proud that our efforts have made a significant contribution to both, while remembering that the work will only be completed when the last victim, the last survivor, and all impacted families and communities receive the truth and justice they deserve.